and both of Kimmy Cousins' accounts. It was only 7 days. At the time, Twitch was already in a lot of controversy for seemingly giving preferential treatment to female streamers. You'd have cases where chicks would accidentally show their clips on stream or flash or Tucci and they wouldn't get banned. So to see somebody getting full on dipstick and only getting a 7-day Twitch ban, it was kind of outrageous. Independent gaming journalist Jake Lucky would be the first to report on the incident, posting the clip of Twitter on August 25th, 2022. In a later tweet, Jake would also reveal that he had gotten in touch with the stream. And she apparently told him going live and getting railed was some kind of accident. She did his moon season. Are we sure about that? Jake said, quote, "You told me it was a drunken accident and you did the stream quickly. I think something this stupid warrants a permaban." Lucky elaborated further on the ban itself. Quote, "The streamer who had sex on stream verbally stated she only got a 7-day ban from Twitch. She did not show the email or screenshots of the ban. I highly doubt Twitch will keep it at 7 days now." After Jake's tweet went viral, many were outraged. Gideon, a well-known YouTuber who had been banned from Twitch indefinitely for simply raiding Pokemon's cat, expressed his annoyance, writing in a now-deleted tweet, quote, "A girl gets fucked on stream, a 7-day ban while
another welcoming party. Time to crash it again."
An annoying knock-on effect of the controversy was that given the nature of this, Twitch social media accounts began exploding as an influx of boomers flocked to their pages, eagerly awaiting more trash of NSFW content. Despite the fight for justice, Kimmy would never receive a permanent ban from Twitch, and she wasn't allowed back on the platform after the 7 days fight.
Dead
The
end.
entire situation turned into a twisted
The floor
dream.
looks fragile.
The controversy resulted in her
Try
Twitch
jumping
channel
as high as you
going
can in the
from
jump
30
pod.
followers
Maybe we
to
can crash through on landing.
She also picked up around 20,000 Instagram followers and 120,000 followers on Twitter. As of today, Kimiko is still streaming on Twitch and posted her TikTok and Instagram regularly. Her numbers have somewhat plateaued since the big drama, but needless to say, it made her career. And as you might expect, she has a pretty popular OnlyFans account too. I'm sure Shannon Sharp has probably seen all of the photos. Jordan Peterson and Hero from GDI. Except for me. The Zoom bombing incident. During the COVID lockdown, people flocked to Zoom in droves to communicate. Calls with friends, work meetings, study sessions, doctor visits, court proceedings, you name it. While certainly a pragmatic solution at the time, the adoption didn't come without its quirks, especially early on. There were troublemakers out there eager to exploit the communication method for their own entertainment. Let's please see the Zoom Raiders, or the process of Zoom bombing.
That did it!
Became a popular tactic for some of the internet's more mischievous. Essentially, you had trolls joining non-password protected Zoom calls, typically hosted by official organizations, and derailing the meeting by playing offensive audio or video content to the people in government meetings were prime targets for this sort of trolling for obvious reasons. One of the most infamous Zoom bombs ever dropped was in a South African parliament meeting during President Johannesburg. On March 7, 2020, the Parliament of South Africa held an online Zoom meeting and publicly posted the details to access the Zoom Twitter. Big mistake. Details posted on Twitter included the actual password to access the video conference. As you might imagine where this is going. Before the meeting, one of the speakers actually cautioned the Parliament from advertising the meeting in this way, warning the organizers of the ongoing threat of Zoom bombers who were running amok online at the time. Sadly, the warning fell on deaf ears. Shortly after the commencement of the Parliament Zoom meeting, a Zoom bomber joined the call and almost immediately began playing obscene pornographic videos along with racial slurs over the speaker. After the official video started playing, the speaker, who initially warned the parliament, is quoted saying, "This is exactly what I said about Zoom." Realizing they had been invaded by nefarious trolls, the meeting abruptly ended and a new one was set up without the password being shared publicly. They managed to get through that one without any kinks. Funeral attendee takes a shower on live stream. Zoom has become a rather useful tool. Let's say you can't make it to an event or scheduled meeting.
I'll say it again. These things are huge.
Nowadays, you have people attending weddings.
The aquarium should be on the top floor. Let's start
They
climbing.
also attend funerals, too. It can be very convenient. It certainly seemed that way for one woman who was a friend of the recently deceased, the father of three who had died after a long and brutal battle with cancer. She was running late, and not wanting to miss any of the proceedings, she quickly joined the Zoom call that was taking place at the funeral itself so she could watch it while she got ready. She was going to attend in person. She just didn't want to miss anything. The only problem was she had left her camera on during the getting ready process, so on the massive projector inside the funeral service, everyone got a front row seat to her preparational grooming, including her showering and her shaving her coochie. Eventually, one of the woman's friends sends her a message informing her of what had happened. And believe it or not, she actually still went to the funeral in person after all of it, arriving in tears, ashamed of what she had done. Quote, some bird logged on and didn't realize her camera was on and was in the shower shaving her pubes. An attendee said. If an entire funeral saw me shaving my pubes, showering in the nude, I don't know if I'm going to show up no matter how much I love that person who's on today. Man accidentally live streams his wife giving birth to hundreds of people. With everyone having a camera in their pocket these days, for the sound of a child show from their family members, it seems more than you might imagine. And hey, if you went Stanley Kubrick on your wife hoo-ha in the delivery room, hey, I'm not judging personally, but for me, I like to be in the moment. You know, a moral encouragement. Push, baby, push. I don't want to have to be worrying about the framing of the cucaracho on camera again. But hey, if you insist on filming it, just be careful out there because you might end up like the guy who accidentally shared his wife's birthing process with everyone that he had ever met. On May 16th, Ali Kolangata, a 26-year-old man from Carmichael, California, was about to experience one of the greatest moments life has to offer. His wife, Sarah Doan, she was giving birth to their first child, and he planned on filming it. Holly is of Polynesian descent. Specifically, his family is from the island of Tonga. It's within traditional norm of these people to have your entire family witness a woman giving birth. Now, unable to airlift his extended family into this delivery room, Holly opted to simply film the delivery and show his family the video later. Yeah, I can't wait to pop a squat on the couch with Hunk and show him my wife spread open giving birth in 4K. Now, the man here was something of a boomer when it came to technology, and as you might expect, was primarily a Facebook user. In fact, Holly often used Facebook's in-app camera to record videos instead of his phone's default app. What could possibly go wrong there? As his wife begins pushing and the birth of the child is imminent, Holly hits record, but something was off. Sometime after hitting record, the man, who was focused on the birth itself, takes a glance to his phone screen to make sure it's still capturing footage. And to his shock, he discovered a live viewer count in the top corner, which was rapidly increasing, rising moment to moment. Holly had accidentally broadcasted to Facebook Live. Well, I didn't notice it was on the public feed until someone said, push, push, coming. It was my little cousin, Holly said. The childbirth scream spread virally, and thousands of people were in the chat room doing this. Panicked, Holly initially considered shutting down the stream, but viewers were cheering his wife on. And the man reckoned, hell, I've already been live streaming it this long, why not see it through to the end? Well, there's a lot of negative stuff on Facebook, and so I thought this would be positive. I figured as long as I kept it PG, it's something to be happy about. Doing his best to avoid any nudity, Holly supported his wife through the birthing process with the chat room filled with friends and strangers cheering them on. Sarah had no idea she had an audience. Later reporting said, I thought it was just filming regular and you put it on live, and I didn't know until the end, so yeah, I was surprised. Thankfully for everyone, the delivery resulted in a healthy baby boy. The accidental scream showing this entire process is reportedly viewed over 200,000 times. While certainly a sort of bizarre situation, I can't consider with the nudity being up to a minimum and the outcome being open. I was okay with it, I guess. Some online weren't, but there was a bit of pushback with some suggesting the first line was unfair to the right. This is some sort of invasion of her privacy. Obviously, some also were just appalled by something so visceral with live streams because there was a chance to know that things really didn't show much for it. The film has nothing inappropriate except for one moment when the man was distracted by the baby coming out and he accidentally shows a glimpse of his wife's breast. While he responded to his newfound attraction, so there are some people like but he's from the island of Kona. Many years ago, we would have water from us in heaven. I wasn't worried about hiding anything because our culture has done this for thousands of years. I don't think it's fair to cast judgment upon people. I mean, birth is a wonderful thing. Sarah also expressed her own unprepared belief.
Is this elevator busted?
I think it's really not that.
We're gonna have to jump over.
Can have their opinion. To me, it's beautiful. It's a blessing. It's good mothers. It's not hard to have a baby. It makes so much fun. I mean, there is time that you can do it and don't be ashamed. In fact, if she had lost the dream of being 3-year-old her on the street phone that she was not. It's still with the baby, but I went to the end to make sure you didn't this isn't too bad. Following later tells People magazine in the interview, his phone will see the video of her being born, and appreciate the clearly behind the fact. And it's what a family do. We carry stories from elder to elder, so my story will be passed on to him. My pain will become a blessing. When a potential invasion of privacy after the championship turns out for moment, it's the story of the man. Pretty good at the video. Let me know what you guys thought about it down below in the comment section and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy West certified. Peace.
Of the West, there are still vast, virtually unexplored regions, bleak, desolate.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the program. Now, a few weeks ago, I talked about a movie called The Killer Shrew, which was directed by Ray Kellogg and shot back-to-back with this movie, The Giant Gila Monster. Both of these movies feature animals that have been enlarged somehow. The only difference is that with The Killer Shrews, they actually have an explanation as to why the shrews mutated. It was a science experiment gone wrong. And with this movie, they're just kind of like... I'm serious. At one point, they just kind of speculate that it could be something to do with the pituitary gland or the thyroid, because, you know, that can cause all mixed shit. The movie starts with this young couple, Pat and Liz, doing what young couples love to do. Sit in their car in the middle of nowhere and do that. Suddenly, the car is pushed and it rolls down a hill, undoubtedly killing both of them instantly, because, you know, cars were like death traps. The next day, Chase and his girlfriend, Lisa, show up at the local soda shop. And Chase is like, come on, we're going to be late to drink soda and dance with all the others. So Chase is like, hey, where's Pat and Liz? You know, the couple from the beginning of the movie? They're supposed to be drinking and dancing with everyone. Anyways, Old Man Harris shows up. And I guess this is just a parking free-for-all, which drives me nuts. I mean, yeah, there's no lines on the ground, but can we at least try to have some order here? We live in a society, there are rules. you know, the past
Well,
father goes to
so
the
it
sheriff,
goes.
and he's like, hey, Ash didn't come home with me. And you might be thinking that he's concerned that his son might be dead, but no, he's worried about something much worse. His son's innocence. Because being dead is one thing. But his son falling in love and marrying the girl of his dreams without parental permission? That's just total anarchy. I mean, what the hell happened to this country? First, we got people parking wherever they want, messing up the spot, and now
At
people are
least
running
that was
off and
sort of
getting
fun.
married in secret. I mean, if he doesn't tell them that he inevitably gets divorced, his parents will probably tell him. Legitimately. All right. Morning, Jack. Let me smell your breath. Okay, go ahead. See, that's what was known as a 1950s president. And the test is not to check to see if you have been drinking. The test is to see if you have been drinking in secret. The thinking was a lot of those old cars, some of them didn't even have seatbelts. So if you were in an accident, a sober person has no chance of surviving a collision. But a drunk person has a chance of surviving trip, breathing into it, and the inevitable impact on the ground because their body is on loose. So the sheriff goes to Lizzie's parents, and nobody seems worried at all about the fact that their kid might be dead, which is crazy to me. I mean, everyone is driving around drunk in cars with basically no safety features. Dead seems like it should be the default assumption. Chase works as a mechanic at a repair shop with a party line phone. So he hears a ring meant for the sheriff, and he's like, I'm just going to eavesdrop on that because, maybe it's something juicy. So he hears a call reporting a car accident out on the highway, and he thinks there might be a tow job at that point. So he arrives to find a car in a ditch, but there's no one inside. Just a lot of blood. And then the sheriff arrives. Somebody was hurt in here. Blood all over their upholstery. Let's take a look around. We already looked around. Right here. Real good? Yeah, Chase. Did you look real good? Because there's a big difference between looking and looking real good. For example, you look for monsters under your kid's bed. You look real good for monsters under your bed. Obviously, this is a very serious situation. I mean, there's people missing, a wrecked car, blood all over the place. So the sheriff turns his attention to Chase's busted headlight. That's the real cause for concern here. How many times have I warned you about getting that headlamp fixed? Twice.
Dad?
You know, I think this is a complete waste.
Looks like it.
You probably got a screwdriver. I don't think the insurance company has missed one of those headlights. See, this is why they were called the good old days. Because back then, the cops actually took customers.
Oh.
Meanwhile, we have a typical-looking hitchhiker looking to hitch his way somewhere. But look out, it's the Gila monster. Remember, that's what this movie is supposed to be about. And this doesn't look very convincing. It's just shots of the Gila monster intercut with reaction shots of the guy. So, yeah, I guess
No other
nobody
chests in
managed
there.
to see this giant lizard until it's right in front of them somehow. Anyways, Chase is driving back home when he sees the hitchhiker's briefcase on the side of the road.
that,
So he
right?
skips because, I mean, come on, you'd have to be crazy to turn down a free briefcase. And the sheriff starts looking around and finds a bunch of
Absolutely
cigarettes.
crazy.
This town is just
How do you get out of here?
shit. The next day, Chase is out driving around when two guys goes flying past him, sees the Gila monster, and crashes into a ditch. And Chase can see right away that this guy is drunker than the typical guys in this town, so he tows him back to the shop and lets him sober up to some degree, and then the guy gives him a bunch of money to use his car. Turns out he's a famous DJ who mimics the way Chase sings. It means that Chase must be a really good singer because, I don't know about you, but when I'm hungover, I don't care how good of a singer you are. I don't even want to hear myself breathing. So the sheriff comes over to ask Chase to help him form a search party to look for Papa Liz. And then he notices that the tires on the car they found have been split onto Chase's hard drive. But there's another thing that's probably new. How those tires got off of that car,
Almost on you. But look, on this wreck-based rock, on my rod, they can prevent a blow. Maybe even an accident. Take good care of them in case the owners are right. See you tomorrow.
I'm sorry, is this not an ongoing investigation? There's blood inside the car. Is this not evidence? The owner could be driving in a ditch somewhere, yet Chase is just stripping his car down, and the sheriff is like, yeah, whatever. The guy shows up, you have to put it all down. Anyways, Chase gets his friends to help lift the car and load, and they're like, hey, Chase, can we go now? We've been looking around all afternoon. We're bored. I mean, we kind of wanted to stop doing anyways. We really weren't that close. So Chase and Lisa decide to go search the ravine. And I know that how he builds suspense here, but it's a really tough sell because none of these shots of the Gila monster make it look like it's approaching them or that it's massive from the size. So it just looks like shots of a Gila monster intercut with people. And they added in these sound effects to make it sound as if these are very large objects making an impact, but these are clearly just, quick.
What's that?
What is it, Chase?
Looks like an animal of some sort.
What's this now? 20 millimeter.
Yeah, haven't we gone far enough, Chase?
The same one I got? Yeah, but it's blue.
Come on, let's go.
Wait a minute. Take a breather first.
Chase, I don't like this.
Lisa, what's not to like? You got nature and free water.
Less rounds,
and
but it's more
some
powerful,
kind of animal
and you
drag
can
something
upgrade it.
through here. Plus, there's
Hopefully.
a pretty good chance that you might find some dead bodies.
Hopefully.
Now, you tell me, when was the last time you went on a nature walk?
Alright.
So Gordy starts barking his horn, and he's like, hey, Chase, we found a 2 miles back, but there's nobody inside. And Chase is like, okay, so what condition was the car in? Because I might need a new bumper. So Chase brings the tow truck, and they start pulling the car out. Because, again, it's really not disturbing a potential crime scene. There might be parts on this car to steal. The sheriff will leave, and then they just leave. So all the shots of the Gila monster really led to nothing. So Chase goes home and sees that his little sister Missy has finally got leg braces. Maybe now she'll be able to walk again. Of course, she's really not that good at it, and she's really upset. So Chase decides to sing her a song.
How close are we? We're close. Alright. And this here too. Any of these cost too? No, they're almost maxed out already. Holy shit.
I knew if he was going to start singing again, I would have smashed that stupid banjo lately before he walked into the room. And how long is this song going to be? I swear, last time he went on for like 10 minutes. I'm used to room face. I'm not sitting here because I want to. I'm sitting here because I don't have any other option. I'm a captive audience, basically. This is exactly why I gotta learn how to walk again, so that I can walk out of the room the next time he picks that thing up. So sometime later, Old Man Harris is driving somewhere. You might notice that his windshield wiper is missing. Maybe Chase stole it. And he's drinking, of course. So he thinks he can beat the train. And the conductor is obviously freaked out about the whole thing, but Harris just barely makes it. So the Gila monster takes out the bridge, and the train derails, and the Gila monster starts eating the people inside, I guess. Old Man Harris is like, holy crap, I gotta tell the sheriff about this. And the sheriff is like, you know what, Harris? I'm taking away your keys.
We can get to the next floor from here.
And it's amazing
Let's
that
move
it
it.
took them this long to do this. This guy had a bottle of moonshine basically attached to him the entire movie. So something was bound to happen eventually, and the movie kind of makes it seem like the sound of the train whistle attracted the Gila monster. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's not his fault. Get going. This is I talked about this in my last video. That type of person You know, the one who shows up for the party with the jug of moonshine, they're either super fun to hang out with or a complete disaster. There is no in between. Back at Chase's house, Missy is like, "Hey Chase, I'm going to go spend the night at the Blackwells. Can you take me over?" And Chase is like, "Gee, Missy, I'd love to, but I got a big party to get to. I'm afraid you're gonna have to wait."
40mm light
But then the phone rings. It's the sheriff, and the sheriff wants to know if Chase still has that book on reptiles.
Oh, shit.
You know, the one with the really cool pictures? Because maybe that'll explain what's going on with this Gila monster situation.
Yeah, it's a
But
good
by
one.
the time Chase gets
Doubles
there,
the power
it looks
on that.
like the sheriff has the whole thing figured out. Kind of.
I'm entitled to his audit.
It's a good fight.
The Gila monster says the control of the everything else is to it. The change theory was
That was tested.
There was another report on Russia or the Ukraine. I didn't think a couple months ago. Maybe you should. This baby was 130 pounds or 10 months old.
Same.
Taller than his mother.
Yep.
Same thing.
Same.
Well, there you go.
Different.
Giant babies. Anything is possible. It's a freaky nature.
That's right. This is the bomb dropper.
All types of stuff like that when I was growing up. Reading in the book at so the sheriff is like, "Yep, looks like you got a giant man-eating Gila monster walking around. But I don't want to tell the public because that would cause a panic. And you got a big party to get. Don't want to spoil that. Now you get out there and dance with all the other
Dance.
Forget about the giant monster walking around that most likely ate your friends. And basically everybody.
What's up, Joe?
So he goes to the dance where they've got the DJ from earlier. And he's like, "Have you been to the train yet?" And the sheriff is like, "No." "Yeah."
Battle
I
tank.
just haven't had the time. I've been reading this really cool book.
Go read it.
You can check it out. And it's the real one. It's like, yes,
Tank
I have
was
this
good.
thing. And I talked to a state trooper there, and they said that my son's car shouldn't have been moved until a thorough investigation was done and photographed. And the sheriff was like, "Yeah, I was gonna. I just haven't yet. I got a lot of things on my mind. There's a giant Gila monster walking around, stealing parts off of cars."
Now, something may have hit this car, but it didn't take the tires off. And where do those new white sidewalls on Chase Winston's hot
So it's like,
Here, I guess.
that's a 5. So it's
he presumed that
3, 4.
so he borrowed the tires in the meantime? Perhaps. That's thievery. Destroying evidence, obstructing justice. Now, your last official act of
It's like 3, 3.
that boy and bring him in.
And
And
then
I'll make sure that it's done.
Back at the party, the
over
DJ
3.
plays a song that Chase recorded,
It's
and then
over
he gets
3.
Chase to perform his song to the crowd.
So it's okay, HP higher, way higher. Primary weapon attack. Actually, a little higher.
Okay, so now the Gila monster shows up.
Primary
and they
weapon
actually
attack.
use miniatures here,
It's
so I gotta give them
168.
credit for that. The sheriff and Mr.
176.
Wheeler show up
Okay.
to the party, and Mr.
8
Wheeler
ammo.
is like,
10 ammo.
"Come on, go get him." And the sheriff is just
1.4
like, "Hang on.
seconds.
You
1.4
can't arrest
seconds.
a man while he's
Reload
playing
times.
banjo lately. You know
Wow.
that. Turns
Really
out the
bad.
Gila monster has had enough of
HP.
Chase's singing, so it starts breaking through the wall, and everybody gets the
A
hell
little
out.
better. Why
Chase
does it
comes
show
up
so
with
much
the
better?
idea of using nitroglycerin to blow up the Gila monster,
It doesn't.
so he goes and gets it. On the way
I think
back
you were going
to
to this
Nitro,
one.
they spot a house that's been busted up by the
So you're
Gila
over
monster.
there.
And Chase is like, "Oh my God, that's the Blackwell's house."
Isn't
Which
on
means
here,
that
but
Missy
that's
is
higher.
probably
And
dead.
speed
I mean,
is
there's no
28.
shit.
This is a higher
She
speed.
can't walk for shit.
All that money we
handling
spent
0,
on those
speed
braces
0,
down the drain.
handling 0.
Wait, maybe I can find those
28,
braces inside
28.
somewhere. They might
They're
have
the same.
wholesale value. So Chase
Okay.
eventually finds Missy outside, and that's when he drives the hot rod
Here
towards
we
the
go.
Gila monster and jumps out at the last second. And that's the end of that. The whole thing explodes.
Lucas.
All is forgiven. The end. Now, apparently, the lizard that they used in the movie wasn't actually a Gila monster. It was a Mexican beaded lizard, which is actually a close relative to the Gila monster. As I mentioned in the Killer Cruise video, these two movies were shot back to back to save costs, and they were shown together as a double feature at drive-in movie theaters in the summer of 1959. However, the movie actually did quite well and was picked up by American International Pictures to be released in theaters later that year. To be honest, the movie wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be after watching The Killer Shrews. I will say, though, that I thought The Killer Shrews was a more entertaining bad movie in that sense. If you want to check out this movie, you can right here on my channel. It will be in the full movies playlist. I want to thank all of my supporters on Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, and my YouTube channel members. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. That's pretty much it for this one. And I'll see you all next time.
Oh, it would be nice, wouldn't it? This is worth for a 500 pack. It's a mortar. No. There's no quick reload for that mortar, huh? Well, they take the extra one, right? I'll take the extra one. What's this drone doing? This.
It's just after 2 a.m. on September 19th, 1910, a man broke into a home on West 104th Street in Chicago, Illinois. It's believed that the man was planning to burglarize the home, but when he found 13-year-old Florence Hiller sleeping in one of the bedrooms, he must have changed his plan. When Florence awoke and saw the man, she screamed as the man pushed up her nightgown and started touching her. The screams alerted her parents, Clarence and Mary Hiller, and as Clarence ran down the hall to investigate, he ran into the man's house. The intruder pulled out a gun and shot Clarence twice, killing him. Then he fled the scene. The neighbors were woken up by the commotion, and John Pickens went to the Hiller home to help. He arrived at the same time as his son, Oliver Pickens, who had been walking home from a friend's house at the time. Officer Floyd Beardsley was on patrol in the area when he heard screams and was looking for the source when he found John and Oliver approaching the Hare home. They observed the body of Clarence, and when the officer went upstairs to get a sheet to cover the body, he found sand on the foot of Florence's bed. At the same time, four Chicago police officers
incoming
had
enemy
ended their
missiles.
shift
Okay.
and were sitting on a bench waiting for a streetcar. While they waited,
It's good defense.
They found the man suspicious, and since it was 1910, the fact that the man was black likely heightened suspicion. But they also had a lot to be suspicious of. The man was sweating, had blood on him, and the gun had recently been fired.
Question is this where
He
it
said he
came
had just been
from?
injured
Yeah.
when he fell off of the streetcar, but the officers didn't believe him, and they took him to the station. At that time, those officers didn't know about the murder that had happened just ago. The man was identified as Thomas Jennings, and he had just been released from prison on parole where he'd been serving time for burglary. He was thoroughly examined and found to have fresh injuries from a fight and blood on his clothing. They also found sand in his shoes, which was linked to the murder scene not long after Thomas was brought to the station. He was arrested and charged with the murder of Clarence Hiller, but his trial would not be cut and dry. He would introduce a piece of evidence as proof against the defendant that had never been used for a U.S. court before. It was later that morning that investigators would find the groundbreaking piece of evidence in the case. As Thomas fled the scene, he grabbed a freshly painted porch railing to pull himself through a window. The wet paint became a perfect medium to capture his fingerprints pattern. That lucky timing worked in the investigators' favor, as those crucial prints would have been lost if the paint had dried earlier. The fresh paint worked like a natural fingerprint collector. When Thomas pressed his fingerprints against it, the oils from his skin created clear marks in the paint. The railing held 4 clear fingerprints, giving investigators plenty of evidence to work with. Those pristine impressions in wet paint gave police a great chance to use the new science of fingerprint identification to solve that violent crime. The investigators took great care to preserve the evidence. Instead of just taking photos, they removed the entire railing to keep the evidence intact. The police then created large photos of the crime scene prints. Those photos helped them examine and compare the prints with other samples. They matched them against 2 sets of Thomas Jennings' fingerprints, one from his recent arrest and another from when he violated parole years earlier. The preservation methods they used were advanced for 1910. Modern fingerprint collection has come a long way, but the simple approach from the Jennings case remains similar to what experts use today. Current forensic specialists still value those early techniques. Their detailed work paid off when they found 33 matching points between the crime scene prints and Thomas's known prints. That analysis became the heart of the prosecution's case. Though fingerprinting was new to American forensics, those early investigators showed amazing insight. They knew that keeping both the physical evidence and photos would help prove that new type of evidence was reliable. 4 fingerprint experts testified that the prints from the railing belonged to Thomas Jennings without doubt. People near the crime scene gave vital testimony that later built a stronger case against Thomas. Neighbors of the Hillers identified Thomas as the person who had robbed them right before the murder. That string of crimes showed Thomas was in the neighborhood at that crucial time. Kenya Nettles, who lived in apartments facing the Hillers' house, later pointed to Thomas in court as one of the men she saw that night. The prosecutor also presented the physical evidence found on Thomas when he was questioned by the off-duty officers. His visible injuries, blood on his clothing, and a recently fired revolver. Court records show the prosecutors matched the bullets from Clarence Hiller's body to the gun they found on Thomas. The investigators also matched sand from Florence's bed to sand in Thomas's shoe. That left no question that Thomas Jennings was inside the Hiller home. Jennings' defense team fought hard against the unfamiliar evidence. They questioned if it was scientifically legitimate and legally admissible. The attorneys pointed out that Great Britain needed special laws to make fingerprint evidence legal. That strategy tried to raise doubts about American courts accepting the technique without similar laws. The defense made a bold move to challenge fingerprint identification's basic idea. Without proper scientific backing, they argued courts should reject fingerprint evidence as unreliable. The defense team highlighted the lack of scientific testing behind fingerprint analysis. Their objections focused on how new the technique was rather than error rates or methods that later challenges would address. The defense raised questions that would become standard in fingerprint challenges. Could experts really be sure no two fingerprints matched? How many mistakes did examiners make? Was their matching technique reliable? 4 fingerprint experts testified for the prosecution. Michael P. Evans, Chicago Police Department Bureau Investigation Chief. William M. Evans, a former Bureau member. Edward Foster, British Police Inspector, and Mary Holt, the first woman to teach fingerprinting. Each expert had looked at thousands of fingerprints and confirmed the crime scene prints only matched Thomas Jennings. Then the defense attempted a daring challenge against the prosecution, which backfired in a dramatic forward moment. Attorney W.G. Anderson dared experts to lift his fingerprint from a piece of paper he touched. They did exactly that, showing everyone how well the technique worked. The jury couldn't ignore that powerful demonstration. The prosecution showed blown-up images of the fingerprints with matching prints standing up. Jury saw nature's evidence speak for itself. The visible ridge patterns left a lasting impression that proved hard to ignore.
Oh, yeah.
He backed his decision by citing the Encyclopedia Britannica and a handwriting identification book. He noted that, quote, standard authorities on scientific subjects discuss the use of fingerprints as a system of identification, concluding that experience has shown it to be reliable.
Seriously?
The jury unanimously convicted Thomas Jennings and he was sentenced to death by hanging. That verdict kicked off a legal journey that reached the Illinois Supreme Court. There, fingerprint evidence faced its final test before becoming a permanent part of American law. The Illinois Supreme Court looked to British precedent where courts already accepted fingerprint evidence. Scientific authorities played a key role in convincing the justices that fingerprint analysis was reliable. The Supreme Court allowed expert testimony on fingerprints. The court determined that, quote, expert testimony is admissible when the subject matter of the inquiry is of such a character that only persons of skill and experience are capable of forming a correct judgment as to any facts connected therewith. The justices unanimously agreed that fingerprinting had enough scientific merit as evidence, stating, quote, this method of identification is in such general and common use that the courts cannot refuse to take judicial cognizance of it. The court emphasized that there is a scientific basis for the system of fingerprint identification and that the court is justified in admitting this class of evidence. That significant decision made fingerprint analysis a specialized field that needed expert interpretation. The Illinois Supreme Court upheld Thomas Jennings' conviction on December 21st, 1990.
Can't get over it.
People v. Jennings made fingerprint evidence legally admissible in American courtrooms. The Cook County Jail hanged Thomas Jennings on February 16, 1912, but his legal impact lasted much longer. All state courts adopted the People v. Jennings reasoning by the late 1920s. That precedent changed American jurisprudence and made fingerprint evidence the lifeblood of criminal prosecution across the United States. It was the most solid piece of physical evidence in any criminal case until DNA was first presented in U.S. court in 1986. But fingerprints were already being used as a means of identification long before Thomas Jennings was convicted in 1910. Several ancient civilizations used fingerprints for practical reasons. Chinese officials left their fingerprints on clay seals to verify government documents during the Qin dynasty of 221 to 206 BCE. Babylonians did something similar around 1900 BCE. They used fingerprints on clay tablets during business deals. Those early uses show that people knew fingerprints were unique. The Chinese were way ahead of their time when it came to use of fingerprints in criminal cases. Chinese law enforcement collected hand and fingerprints from crime scenes during the Qin dynasty. A Chinese historian named Piakun Liang wrote about fingerprints as a way to verify identity by 650 CE. Scientists found even older proof that humans noticed fingerprints. Cave paintings with hand patterns and ridge marks exist in Nova Scotia, far in some other places. Those artworks are more than 15,000 years old. Scientists began studying fingerprints seriously in the 19th century. Johann Evangelista Pepini made a breakthrough in 1823. He identified 9 types of fingerprint patterns, including loops, arches, and whorls. Modern forensics still use those classifications. Sir William Herschel was a British man who worked for the Imperial Civil Service in India. He began using palm prints and then fingerprints as a means of signing contracts from as early as 1858. He began documenting his own fingerprints at various times over his lifetime, proving that they don't change over time. Dr. Henry Sard's changed everything in the 1870s. The Scottish surgeon worked in Japan when he saw fingerprints on wood pottery. The discovery fascinated him. He started studying fingerprints and was able to use them to exonerate a colleague who was accused of theft after the hospital where they worked was broken into. Faulds published his research in the scientific journal Nature in 1880. He suggested using fingerprints to identify criminals and sought the help of Charles Darwin, but he wasn't interested. Instead, he referred the doctor to his cousin, Sir Francis Galton. He didn't start researching fingerprints until 8 years later, but his research proved 2 important things. First, that fingerprints stay the same throughout life, at least naturally. I accidentally cut the tip of my left index finger off with a circular saw decades ago, so the fingerprint on that finger is a little different now, but that was caused by an outside force. The second thing he proved was that no 2 prints are exactly alike. The chances of finding matching fingerprints were 1 in 64 billion. Galton wrote a book called Fingerprints in 1892, creating the first scientific way to classify them. Galton's work in the late 18th century created a scientific base that courts worldwide would later accept. He worked hard to convince doubtful people that fingerprints could identify someone reliably. That paved the way for fingerprints to become crucial evidence in criminal cases. Congress formalized fingerprinting's role by establishing the FBI's Identification Division as a central repository for criminal identification data in 1924. Law enforcement agencies throughout the country started building their own collections after recognizing the technology's potential. Manual fingerprint systems reached their practical limits eventually. The FBI's Identification Division realized manually searching would become impossible by 1963. Silicon chip technology emerged at just the right time, leading to the Automated Fingerprint Identification System, or AFIS. Those changes brought dramatic results. San Francisco saw 10 times more latent print identifications after implementing an early version of AFIS in 1984. Cases with AFIS-generated evidence have tripled the conviction rates compared to those without. The city's burglary rates dropped while national rates climbed. AFIS technology spread faster afterwards. Around 500 AFIS installations existed worldwide by 1999. Modern systems handle millions of prints automatically. The FBI's Criminal Justice Information Services processed 74 million fingerprints in 2023 alone, comparing 97% automatically. A set of fingerprints on a freshly painted railing changed American criminal justice forever. The year was 1910, and Thomas Jennings' case became a defining moment against scientific evidence its rightful place in court. Fingerprinting quickly became one of the most important tools of forensic science after the Illinois Supreme Court made its groundbreaking decision. Thomas Jennings never knew how his fingerprints would shape criminal justice. His case made fingerprinting legally valid evidence and created a blueprint to introduce new kinds of methods in court. Scientific evidence became crucial to criminal prosecution. Though Jennings paid with his life, he unknowingly wrote a crucial chapter in forensic science's story.
That was good. That was
Thanks so
interesting.
much
I
for
got
letting
some
me tell you
history.
this story. If you're a fan of true crime, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss an episode. You can also hit like or leave a comment. If you'd like to support the show, check out our merchandise at thisismonsters.com. The link is in the description. Thanks again, and be safe.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, it is about the subject of reality TV. Now, reality TV is scientifically proven to rot your brain. I have no idea if that's true or not, but it kind of sounds like something that could be true. I mean, there's reality TV shows about every single thing these days, and everybody's hooting and hollering to get on them, to get their 15 minutes of fame, to get their yada yada yada. Everybody wants to be famous these days. And so, there's these reality TV shows that are really breaking the mold. You get stuff like Games for You and Jury Duty, but you'll have this one for reality TV shows is a little bit different from the rest. How about a prank show where you can accuse them of, the equivalent of about $100, joke around with people, in public, running up to people, pushing them on the cheeks, putting their hands, over the eyes, and a cry, that kind of thing. And then, when they turn around and they're like, apologizing, and then running over. Sounds great. Sounds hilarious. Sounds like the best reality TV show I've ever seen. One specific thing. This whole video is trying to define it. It's just a smaller one part. It's about as international as it gets. Before we get into it, please subscribe to the new content every week from that channel. So next week, let's get begin. So, City Aisha and Luan People are the two women who are at the very center, the very center of this. Two women from very different backgrounds, but both wanted to become famous. Both wanted to become a TV star. Instead, both would unwittingly become assassins. City Aisha, she was from Indonesia. She was a good daughter. She was known as like a rural person. And she came from a very poor family and lived in a very rural region. But when she got old enough, she moved to Jakarta, Indonesia. She began working there in a clothing store. That kind of thing, she'd be working these crazy 16-hour days in there all day. Making clothes. She married the owner, the manager of that place, when she was 17 years old. She had a son with the owner, but then after a couple of years, they divorced until city she had to start anew. She moved to Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia, and there she fell into sex. Unfortunately, she was working though to a taxi driver named James, she'll be doing that a lot. This video, actually, this is for women. So she was a taxi driver named James. She met a guy who was looking for women to star in videos, and that's the kind of videos you might be thinking was star in, for women to star in, comedy videos, film videos, funny videos. So one he won was from Vietnam. She was from the Railway School, and she was from Hanoi University, and there she studied extension. She got a degree in vegetable English. She got a really get a job in her chosen profession. So, she came home. She ended up in a car. And she also did some modeling on the side. And she all about her. Famous. She was even on Vietnam Idol. She wasn't a very good singer at all, unfortunately for her.
Okay. Here we go.
And so it all began for her in December 2016. Her friend, fellow passenger,
are you kidding me?
Videos.
Oh, this is me.
Videos and things. Those videos are very popular in a lot of Asia. Specifically David Carson, she met her friend and this other guy in a bar. His name was Mr. Ross. Now, James and the names they were all given, that's how they would only introduce themselves to citizens. They never call me Mr. Ross. But he explained, what the idea was, the description of the work he wanted to do, videos he wanted to make. He explained that he was, making something for a Japanese company, Japanese production company. They worked for all around the globe. So began months. All kinds of dozens of things like big baby on your hands, running up behind somebody, putting your hands over their eyes, and then they get to, and then they turn around, and then video, don't want to force your school. They will be famous. You all video of the country. You're going to go from there do these hilarious pranks. And you'll be known as the two funny ladies. Probably should fix that. They eventually, are out around and doing all these pranks. They made their way to Scotland. And at this point, they're special. They're a real humdinger of a prank. Under the eyes. Guess who? They turn around. Yeah.
Here we go.
Real fun. They did it a few times, and their boss and the producer tried these big stuff videos. You really want to make sure you get it right. Depending on how you really need to the audience, and you've always got to keep it from always keep them smiling. They would have put in the Kuala Lumpur airport in the week leading to
finally the top floor.
What would be their final.
Take cover!
So they were told, we're going to do it again. This is going to be our biggest one yet. This time we're going to do it with a male.
The swimmers?
The two ladies, there was a description of this guy. He was going to be a bit of a chunky guy.
Hey! You got...
Even after
That's our line.
I bet I know.
You were fixing to go and get your hands on the aquarium first, weren't you?
Well, yeah, but, I mean, no one told us it was being guarded.
Tough talk for a bunch of cowards.
Never mind them.
Let's worry about
Korean
ourselves.
leader Kim Jong-un has been
It sounds like there's something up ahead that...
Traveling in Malaysia, Afghan broadcaster TV broadcaster said Tuesday, Kim Jong-un was the such being targeted at the airport in Kuala Lumpur, the capital.
Little did they know that this was the brother of the most infamous dictator in the entire world, and they were not putting baby oil on his face at all. Kim Jong-un was born in Pyongyang on the 10th of May, 1971. His mother was Song Rim, a very famous and beloved actress in North Korea, and she obviously came as mistress to Kim Jong-il. Based on her things like that, she has a children. Can you really say no to a dictator? I don't think so. Kim Jong-un was actually homeschooled by his eldest sister for much of his life. Then he went on to study in Switzerland, like all good dictators do, and then to Russia. Now, Kim Jong-un apparently took after his mother more so than his father in many, many ways. Like, he did have his dad's very sort of short temper, where he gets very pissed off very, very quickly. Kim Jong-un was married to his mother, and he loved film. As I said, his mother was an actress, and maybe he saw himself as like a bit of an actor too. He actually sit there talking away, and look, film scripts, which I really and a big old display of love and her dad was a film set with props and everything like that, like totally indulgent. According to a couple of close family sources, although, Kim Jong-un was the first eldest son, he was picked to take
I guess that.
Here we go.
No interest in politics or being a dictator. I want to sit around and watch movies or maybe now, as I'm sure you're aware, it's kind of like no shit, immigration and emigration into North Korea coming and going pretty fast.
See why.
Kim Jong-un managed to go on multiple speakers.
Nicely done.
I've got this.
And it's the love. I think we made it really out.
Sorry, can't help right now.
Kim Jong-un, I said that,
You're not so invulnerable anymore.
Basic. Of all these, jewelry, even that of the hated American dog. Jong-un was the child who seemed most open to, opening up the country, building relationships with other countries, and starting to maybe...
Prince, I can't lend you a hand right now.
What? Are they attacking too?
Bots are positively swarming out of the woodwork.
That turret's a problem. Let's take it out.
And of course, there was
Oh, what the heck? It's attacking from all over the place. Now, what a pain.
Prince, keep your cool. Getting mad at a machine isn't going to help, Prince.
Yeah.
He arrived there in Tokyo, and there were two women. Amazingly, when the actual slave that wasn't
Nicely done.
Sorry, can't help right now.
Prince, I can't lend you a hand right now.
It's a name these days for many people in St. John, which translates to I mean, it's a your own name.
Not so invulnerable anymore.
Let me help. I've got this.
Prince, you got him!
Number one. And it seems like she succeeded in thinking that we were the
Good job, Prince!
Don't let up, Prince!
Not so invulnerable anymore!
Sorry, can't help right now. Don't let up, Prince!
Whatever reason in his absence,
Not so invulnerable anymore!
build his left and after that, go quickly for the rest of the
That's just not...
Well, that was...
Wow, just what I'd expected.
Yeah, right.
You sick-
The anti-aircraft.
Now then, let's get...
Yeah. As you can imagine, they were very good friends. So that they would make shite. He then had the blood of his allies poured over his head and for his family. And then he too had a simple accident everything with the aircraft. Which is a little bit of overkill. Well, he's really into first stuff. So, you know, there's a little extra so that good old-fashioned fear into everybody around him. But I like that aircraft, anti-aircraft guns. Really? There's no way to do it. And apparently, the gentleman kept the severed head of his uncle in his office. Check it out. You also did it herself by killing the fish one. We got it. Have you pretty much from the story? Pretty much a lot of people were dying. Now, John Nam was outside the screen. But he's probably thinking, something not good for me. Now, how much of all those stories of anti-aircraft hungry dogs, how much of those stories is true? We don't know. A lot of it comes from defectors who maybe just want to give the South Koreans, the Americans, the Japanese, whoever else, just good stories of real facts there. Maybe these people even believed those stories, but they weren't true. It's probably a mix of fact and fiction. But there's one murder we know the story of. It was the whole thing was reported. On the 8th of February, in the Java, their Asian flight he arrived in Malaysia at 4 at 10:50 a.m. Around 9 a.m. at a Jomnan walked on the airport. Two women were waiting there for one walking in, the other sitting across the pillar. As he walked through the check-in desk to get for the house, he was approached by the two women. The first woman, Lady Aisha, sprayed and missed a small perfume-like bottle in his face before apologizing and walked away. The second woman, approached in the same way and walked directly across Jonah's face and across his face. Didn't take Jonah long at all to realize what happened. Like, you know, immediately made a beeline for his staff. Remember to explain what these two random people who don't know business did in his face, and being quickly began clearing his life. He was right, because
Hey, old man!
already
Now we found...
So now it's time to throw fists?
and they took a Jonas to nearby police officers, and then in turn took him to the airport.
It looks like we're gonna have to make it past the border first.
And we're done.
Is that Just after he was sprayed and then wiped by these two different women, he immediately started walking towards the bathroom, towards the toilets in the airport to start washing off his face. But as he was walking, he encountered an airport staff member, began talking with them, and then walked off. If he had just gone to the bathroom, used some water, and washed his face off, he actually might have survived. But that delay, those couple of seconds, couple of minutes, whatever it was, that was just long enough to allow this deadly nerve toxin to seep into him and would ultimately kill him in a very grisly way. Jung-nam was already visibly limping, affected by the toxin within minutes as he walked to the medical center. The women were later followed on CCTV and had immediately gone to the bathroom and washed their hands. They then both fled the airport in taxis soon after. Unfortunately, Jung-nam was already in bad shape almost immediately after being taken to the medical clinic. Within minutes, he was sweating profusely and showed obvious signs of being in physical pain. Soon after, Nam became completely unresponsive and had to be intubated and given atropine and adrenaline. The effects of the toxin were already attacking Jung-nam's entire body, causing his muscles to contract uncontrollably. The VX kills by causing the muscles that are surrounding, the heart, the lungs, the diaphragm, to be unable to relax. They stay tense, so eventually you pass out because the brain, from a lack of blood and lack of oxygen to the brain. But despite the best efforts of the doctors and the medical people at the center, he would die within an hour, and no matter what they did. If you don't get VX nerve toxin off you within like a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes, you're it actually took authorities longer than usual to be able to identify Kim Jong-nam because he was traveling under a false name, under multiple false passports actually. Once they confirmed who the victim was, however, Malay authorities knew they had to act quickly before the guilty parties disappeared forever. Well, it's already known how high profile the victim was. The investigation went into top gear. After all, this is not just some random crime in an airport. This is a very
Right.
international effort. Assassination. And all that sort of stuff. If you did this, they must be absolute secret agents. Ground an airport, right? Well, surprising to everyone, not only did neither woman have any bonus to neither even came from Korea. And the whole incident came from camera and investigators long haul to identify the assassin. 25-year-old city actor from Indonesia and 58-year-old Juan Yitong from Vietnam were arrested in the state. City being arrested on the 16th of February.
It looks like we can get out from here, maybe.
Days that the post-mortem evaluation was conducted. Both were then charged for the murder of Kim Jong-nam. Both were absolutely stunned. They were shocked. They had no idea, what was going on. I'd say the autopsy was done, the firing was done, again, of course, against the objection of North Korea because they clearly didn't want, this whole story getting out. In fact, even to this day, they deny he was fighting. They say he died of it. Police with that later arrest a 26-year-old North Korean guy named Ri Jung-chol. Ri Jung-chol was working IT in Malaysia, kind of like IT, like with a wing. We use the actually was able to get the poison, this nerve toxin into the country. He also, he denies the North Korea. Because he lived in his own what the investigators found was that there was very little that he was putting together to form this VX nerve. Now, VX nerve gas is pretty much worldwide by convention. It's illegal. They don't really give a shit. See, the key to this assassination was the VX nerve that was used. So what is needed for the two persons separately now because essentially it works like getting together not to make the actual one. So in chemistry this is known as a binary link. Two chemicals which individually are together it forms something poisonous or explosive or whatever. And this case, something extremely be it neurotoxicity used as a gas, in this case it was used as a liquid, probably so that not kill everybody in the Air Force, they just only kill one specific person. In this film, then, we combined very little is needed to kill, like it's trying to kill you, and he got more than a 20 drops. But it's the thing to assassins didn't like to commit too much afterwards, because, you know, they got these 6-second moments that, line of probably would commit, but, oh, if they had seen it after, they would have. The two women had no idea what happened, but there's no degree of emotional culpability in Malaysia. And guilty penalty for murder is death by hanging. So it's fake these two women were dead, basically. And of course, the defense was surely was fake. And all of the defense was exactly what they thought it was. It was just a prank. Well,
Here we go.
They had no idea that this movie was bullshit. However, it is
Nice. One down.
the others involved. Well, they could never either they could it is relationship are here that not only is it done now 4 different but also with $100,000 also several files. Great.
I've got this.
Well, so it goes.
My father has been killed 2 days ago. Currently with my brother and my sister, and we're very grateful. We hope this gets finished soon. So what actually happened at the airport? I mean, the plan was quite ingenious for its simplicity and its execution. It's a really bizarre plot, assassination plot, but it worked. For obvious reasons, Malaysian officials have never released all the details of their investigations. But what we can piece together is that these two foreign women, one Indonesian and one Vietnamese, were deliberately chosen for their lack of ties to North Korea, giving North Korean officials plausible deniability. It also served an incredibly practical function. Not only did North Koreans have to spend months training these spies, they could just use these two like random women and, oh yeah, it's part of a TV show. They were trained, for want of a better word, for months and months doing this, like unwittingly trained for months and months doing this to get sort of trained to do better and better, training with baby oil and with water until finally they were let loose on their mission when they were given green light. Also present at the airport that day were 4 men, each of whom was a suspected member of the conspiracy, and all of them suspiciously fled the country for Pyongyang immediately after the murder of Kim Jong-nam. They were Hanamori, who is considered a mastermind of the attack, Oh Jong-gil, also known as the Godfather, and 2 men known by code names Mr. Wise and Mr. Chang. An airport worker named Kim Ok-il was named by the Malaysian police as being an inside man for the successful network. His involvement in all operations and in economic
So there's nothing in here? Yep, there it is. Energy.
The Malaysian authorities actually for this entire thing because their own said, well, you guys can't ridiculous here because North Koreans can just really do whatever they want and you're not going to face any consequences or repercussions from you. You're not really going to investigate it too thoroughly. But this is something we see all around the world, all over time. Like there is the Russian attacks in Britain, the assassination of Alexander Litvinenko with radioactive stuff, or the assassination of Sergei Skripal and his daughter. They were poisoned by Russians, and the Russians were just like, all right, yeah, sure. Clearly we did do it. The Malaysian government was obviously extremely pissed off that the safety of its own citizens was put at risk for another country's squabbles. In the aftermath, the North Korean ambassador was expelled, and their own ambassador to the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea was recalled. Similarly, Vietnam and Indonesia were obviously extremely
Unit ride.
citizens have been drawn into games.
Where? What is this thing?
Because officially, Vietnam died of walking into here.
Energy ride.
Because the whole story, I mean, they kind of even get away with that because the whole story of
The super. It's an option.
altogether is pretty insane. So everybody's track is more believable than these two women who fake into pranking and determine if they were. North Korea still needs to
want that.
It's bullshit. It's made up by those Western dogs. Everybody's language mirroring the leader for Christian makes sports shots. That's real. Thank you so much for watching. It really does mean the absolute world. Yeah.
Check these wings.
I'm gonna do a quick version of this. Oh, some dark things. Well, let's leave there. Let's check out the
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Ghost story. Video. What a Probably would have listened back to the 70s episode once again, it's about Ryan's baby. But I think he will forgive us because it's an requested episode. It's another one, isn't it? This is Alex Masonette's first film. Yes. And it shows. Here's the thing. This movie's interesting. It's nuts. It's after a la Real Green. Alex Masonette has made the same movie multiple more times, 3 times at least. We don't know this part. Sounds slightly different. Another one we don't talk about. Slightly different. But this, Lady Rider, and Checkmate are the same movie. Now, Lady Rider and Checkmate are great, but they're all one movie, basically. And this is the exact same thing. It nothing rough right for Lady Rider. This movie is
nothing. Say it again.
We discovered that Ace is going to play double jeopardy with the wall.
See some more.
If you want to get it started, yeah, and then, yeah, this is internal affairs, this is The Departed, except incomprehensible. The plot is impossible to follow. It's very close to Billy Idol's level of I give up, I can't follow this.
This is the room we started it in. We're back at the very beginning.
I don't even know what's going on.
Again, this first film, 2011, also stars
Fat Joe.
which this is a one-day shooting they had for. One day with 5 minutes of shooting they had him for. He is in one scene. Exactly one scene. Like one shot. He has like one line. Yes. Like, it's so funny because we joked about in Checkmate, you know, how little he's in the movie and how they use body doubles. They had infinitely more
Right.
him in that movie than they did in this one. I don't know. This one is my favorite. Let's get this actor to be in the movie, somebody kind of famous, to be in the movie. Oh, we only have them for one scene. Let's figure out a way to work around that. Also, we can only afford. Yes. And so let's figure out a way to explain why his character is in all of the movie, but it's not Fat Joe. It's a different guy. It's my favorite thing about this entire film, and I don't want to spoil it right out of the get-up because it's very confusing, and I went on a journey with this film of figuring out what was going on with Big Ed. But we'll get to the Big Ed.
Ah.
The cover says it's based on true undercover. Yeah, and probably a lot of the people in this movie are like his friends, maybe, which I think is part of the problem with his films. He goes, well, we were cops. We know what cops say, so we'll just make up cop talk. And it's incomprehensible. Every scene is them all standing in a circle talking about going on a drug bust and just like improvising for like undercover jargon for like 5 minutes when the scene is. They got it's a big deal. We got about 10 teams from the 18th go to.
It's all red. But it's very interesting from a film study of the
When you run into enemies in the desert, taking a head count is a good first step.
Can't we just pick them off one by one?
If there are only a few, sure. But with large groups, you risk getting surrounded.
Ha! Sounds more complicated than I thought.
If enemies take you by surprise, just stay calm and try to get distance from them.
And then run away.
Running in a blind panic gives them more chances to hit you in the back. Assess the situation calmly instead.
I prefer running toward the enemy.
It's everything he says, he just repeats 8
Thank you.
He's been an undercover drug dealer, and I love he says, I'm Uncle Nate. Or Mace or whatever. I don't need it to Uncle. I'm Uncle Nate.
No. Warum schick schon?
Thank you for coming.
And then we get introduced to a guy in a hoodie. And he goes, that's Big Ed. He's the guy hiding behind the hoodie. Who would want to be Big Ed? Who would ever want to be Big Ed? I take that back. A lot of people. I take that back. Everybody wants to be Big Ed. Thanks, man. Awesome. Thanks. Oh, I know. It's so good.
I tell you, this case is not just a commercial case, but just drugs.
And there's more. The monologue goes on forever. This is an operation of cops fighting cops for precision.
This is
And then we cut to the next scene of that. We get the one scene. That's after this. This is because we get the scene with Fat Joe.
The smell.
Forest Land Army! Damn! You think the town's okay?
And they point guns at each other, and then they're like, oh, drop the guns, drop the guns, and you see Fat Joe, and then it cuts to the opening title. It says,
Pollock, what happened? I can't get an answer. They're paralyzed with fear.
and so the cops are then they arrest Fat Joe, goes to prison. Well, that's what we'll come out later. And the opening mark kind of on the hidden page the Jamaican guy.
You need to enter if you.
And this is where I'm like, what
You need to enter the race in the South of America. If you want to.
There's a,
you want to win what?
You need to enter the. If you want to win a dirt buggy frame.
Mayor Tor, what happened here?
I have no...
Who brought him here? The guy with the scar? Hap?
No. Their commander was a woman. Cold as ice. Absolutely
You held out well against them. Rebel Army experience, I guess.
It's not that. It was Anne who saved our town.
Anne did?
She surrendered, saying she'd lead them to the Aquanium.
When was this?
Not so long ago.
Old man, you remember that map of the secret room in the web?
Yeah.
All right.
In addition to Epi and Kroa, there's this other third commander. Troops are flowing in like the border doesn't exist.
Chaos from Zeu's ouster might be what gave them the chance. Isn't that ironic?
Even that guy might have been useful in his own way.
What would you like to do?
My favorite thing is so the kid walks up and it's so obvious that this is Alex Ray's nephew. Alex Ray's nephew. So he's doing so all the
Definitely needed Cobra is what I really needed. No, wait.
Hope to see you soon.
Go on.
What would you like to do?
Vehicle. Go to the jumper. Go to the fort. No. What was it? It's this.
Another thing that's super confusing about this movie, it's within the continuity of Checkmate or Relating.
Oh, yeah.
But all of the same characters are in it. It's
Screw
basically the same age, so it's
God.
okay, because like
That one maxed out with 42.
it's in it. Sal, it's like everybody who's in his other movies is in it. Isn't Sal just Detective Sal? Yeah, they're all like the same names too. And Detective Fitz and Detective, yeah, they're all just like Detective Sal, Detective Fitz, Detective
Wait,
Wally,
what?
playing like similar roles.
Did I have on
Yeah,
it?
this movie, it just remade it.
This is 74 rounds. The 7
And then, so this, at this point, they realized
even this upgraded. They didn't even upgrade fucking. That's 16. Four. 104 to 30. Wait a minute. It's 12 million, wasn't it? Or no, is this one? This is what I was using before. Yeah, we're equipping that shit. They're both good.
There's a great scene on a roof with Paulie and Sal.
0.4 seconds. 0.07 seconds. Dude, I don't think you can. Okay.
He goes in there, he buys some drugs, and then he leaves, and they're setting that place up for later.
Even I saw.
Something that person said was funny. So listen, you come here, you spend $300,000, you're talking about doing a contract. Next week, you spend $200,000. Nothing will sound like.
And there's a great scene where they're undercover, or where they're in a house, and they have a thing where they still do a thing where the police station is picking somebody's house with those same posters. I love it so much. Yeah. It's so very reassuring and makes me feel nice that Alex Hayes from doing the moving the same goddamn music cues over and over again. They're like terrible, lo-fi, MIDI, drum, like percussion beat thing. It's incredible.
Poor guy. This will rock.
The end credits go through.
Would you chip?
So it just like cuts out the last 45 seconds to a completely separate song. That sounds like very awkwardly different. Going into a drug deal and he knows where to go. He's going in and it's in the car. He's like, all right, I got my 2 shots. And they cut to a shot. I guess it's like a 2
Power chip missile rocket.
I don't know what that is, but sure. It's some sort of little revolver. Like a tiny little revolver thing. And he goes, I'll put it in my hat.
It's actually a good one.
And so he sticks it in a tango. Which is great. I love it. Which is probably, I mean, again, assuming he was an undercover, it's probably like a thing he did or something. No, I don't know. Maybe the shit was in my hat. So he puts his 2 shot in his hat. And they're also, I just find out that somebody set up a kid. And it turns out, I think, to be the detectives or something. It doesn't matter. Oh, you know what? It's like, yeah. And we get to the house, and they pat him, and Maeve goes in to this drug deal or whatever, and he gets patted down, and the guy, so he put his gun in his hat, because he knew they were going to search him. They cut inside, he's getting patted down. The guy reaches up and grabs his hat.
Hope to see you soon. What would you like to do?
Why would you ever say? Why would you ever think that? How did you not know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, like, so the whole point was he put the gun in his hat so that when they patted him down, they wouldn't notice. The guy grabs his head, and like you would feel the fucking gun. That's the point of the whole like, oh, put it in my hat. If they're just gonna search his hat, but then not feel it. Anyway, okay, it's great. The drug transaction goes down, and as he's leaving, a guy walks up with a gun by his car, pulls out the gun and just points it at him and doesn't shoot forever. He just walks up, pointing the gun at him, and then I guess another undercover cop pulls out a gun and shoots that guy.
Proctor Alloy? How am I gonna find that?
Really good. And all this from like the same angle. Yeah, all one camera angle. Yeah, it's completely incomprehensible. Yeah, it's all one wide camera angle. Like you can't tell what's happening, and it's just like, oh, guy pull the gun, and another guy hit a
We're painting this a different color.
It's a situation where you would really more close up with like maybe a team.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other coverage would be great. We get one wide shot of this all happening, and that can be dramatic in its own way if it's done well. But it's not. It's just that was the only angle he got because he didn't know how to shoot this.
100mm smoothbore HEP, baby.
And then we cut to
Oh yeah.
which is a club where lots of stuff happens. We've got great music.
250 power.
And they keep
Off.
trying to end it in a way where you
Is there anything else?
puts in dramatic music cues that they make up in those.
Now that we're level 20. This was level 18. Let's see if we can upgrade it.
Somebody will walk from one side of the room to the other, and it'll be what is happening? Nothing happened.
Oh. Okay, premium steel, premium sensor. Okay, so for now, can't we go back to the 48 clip? 2011, so it's faster. It's a tough one.
This is where we have to start the saga at the big end. So I gotta set this up because it's gonna take some doing to explain the journey. This is definitely where
I think I can until I can.
Okay, so
I don't gain anything by it. Yeah, you only lose by putting up really. Like, it fires twice as fast. Stick with the 20mm. Alright.
Hope to see you soon.
Hey there.
Now, to be fair, it's a guy that kind of looks like Fat Joe a little bit. It's a big, fat, white guy with a goatee who kind of looks like Fat Joe if you squint from a mile away. Like, he kind of looks like if you have a tax resident, it might. Yes. So the first stage of this journey was me going, wait a second. Who is that? Is that Big Ed? I thought Big Ed was Fat Joe. Wait. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, so that's not Fat Joe. Oh, okay, so what happened here, so my first thought was, okay, what happened here is, and as I kept showing up in more and more scenes and doing more stuff, like this must be what's going on. What happened here is Fat Joe was going to play this role. Showed up, did the one-day shooting, something come up, didn't finish filming, or whatever. And so they're like, well, we're just going to replace him with a guy that was playing it now. Or money, yeah, maybe he thought he could get paid more, whatever. Who knows, whatever reason, he couldn't get it, alright? And so they got a guy who looks vaguely like him, and like, the audience, we're gonna do an actor switch, and just let the audience not think about it. It's the same guy, deal with it. Working game of death. Okay, we're just gonna get a guy to replace him. Deal with it. It's again, just it's a different. Okay, that's what I thought was going on. Right?
It doesn't show it though.
It's amazing, but I'm gonna let you do that. That's not what went. It's not what the fucking see, and we'll get to it. It's funny, I'm gonna let it happen. I'm gonna let you do that. I'll let it finish. Alex Mason was shot 15 years ago. I'll let you finish, but Fat Joe was the best big man of all time. I'll let you finish, but Fat Joe was the best big man of all time. And then we interact with flashbacks and just dreams and cuts. And at one point, Alex Mason had a dream of getting shot. No. As he wakes up and his girlfriend, they have a conversation after he getting shot. And the audience, they're like whispering to each other, and the audio is cranked so high.
It's really bad for one or the two in particular. Like one one's like loud and clear, and the other one's like kind of muffled.
Yeah, and I love it. So he basically says, I've been doing this for a long time. And there, whatever. I work in this case. This is my last case. Once I'm done, I'm going to be there for a son. Because she's pregnant. His wife or girlfriend or whatever is pregnant. How mad he is. You know what's funny is that this scene, you could be setting it up any farther right. This scene though, where James is talking to her and they're in bed and they're kind of flirting with each other, is the single most natural scene I've ever seen in today's natural. He speaks and acts like a human being in this scene. Yeah. The only time I've ever seen him remotely natural. It's so wild. I was like, oh, so Alex makes an interesting selection flirting with a woman. And he should like act like a human. He got game, man. Again, but it's so wild because every other thing he
primary weapon, tank too. But wait, maybe do the weapons one.
Hey, we're gonna go to this place and do this thing.
That could be cool with that.
He can't say it like a human being. He has to say it like a goddamn robot.
Look at him and be like, there's some sort of window or we're doing something. No, we're going to this place.
Yeah.
That's right. Big Ed's guy that
Thank you so much. See you.
Yeah, he delivers everything on the group. But this scene, he's talking to a girl, and they're like flirting and fighting. And I'm like, who is this actor? This isn't a complete that I've never seen it.
Now, you can be talking. Might be here in a while.
Oh, I've got more material. Take a look.
Yes. Quality steel, quality bolt, quality spring, quality gear. Cobra Panther. Quality. Okay.
Thank you.
Hold on.
You're here because you're the best guy. There's more experience.
What would you like to?
What do I need? Oh. What do I need to upgrade this? Premium gunpowder, premium steel. Or dude, we just got quality, dude. We ain't got premium. Seriously? Pretty sure.
Have a look.
Yeah. This thing, quality. And then this stuff here, you gotta. Oh, what? Nah, high. Quality gunpowder. Nah. Deluxe spark oil. Honey oil. Where are we getting honey from? Cobra rubber. Oh, definitely a lot of new shit here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else in this shithole? Low. I'll figure out what to do when I get out of this hole.
Territory by moving in and just killing everybody is what they say.
If we discuss based on the neighborhood, should have done this, killed everybody, takes it out.
And the road
Oh yeah. Oh, that's sexy. Let's go.
Look, tank treads. Seems like they brought a whole brigade.
Great. Take them all out in one fell swoop.
And then we're gonna start doing side missions. Oh, that's racing. Serious. Let's just do this one.
Nice. One down.
Destroying his mofos too.
Nice. One down.
What's this? Standing legs 2 for the jump pad? I think I got those already. Light legs. These are better than the standard legs too. For a pinch, for defensive mode if I need them, I guess. Yeah. Got one ammo left. Let's Dude, this is the best, bro. Oh,
Make sure to check your gear every now and then.
You never know when something you've picked up might come in handy.
Got it.
Wilhelm
I'll
scream.
give him a look.
Dang.
People used to pass through here all the time. Now, the entire area is deserted. The neat roads disappeared under the sand, and only deadly creatures replaced them.
No hope, dude. No hope.
Maybe humans disappearing isn't always a good thing.
Well, they level up, which will be soon, but at least I
They'll
got a
probably
little
come
bit of an
back when the water
advantage.
does.
See ya, buddy. Oh, dude, love it. Watch this. Dude, look at this guy.
Well, so it goes.
What was that? That's awesome. Shoot. Shoot. Shoot.
People used to pass through here all the time. Now, the entire area is deserted. The neat roads disappeared under the sand, and only deadly creatures replaced them.
Maybe humans disappearing isn't always a good thing.
They'll probably come back when the water does.
Yes. But see these homies out. It's a big one. Yeah.
Well, so it goes. Nice. One down. Well, so it goes.
Oh. Oh. Bastards. That's not too bad. That's his place. Oh. At least we can fight for it.
It looks like we're not the only travelers out here.
Use COVID. Yeah, back down in there.
We should think about stopping by that campsite they're using ourselves. It's a communal camp that's open to all travelers.
Yeah, they come in.
Talk about convenient.
There's something back here, don't it? Yeah.
People used to pass through here all the time. Now, the entire area is deserted. The neat roads disappeared under the sand, and only deadly creatures replaced them.
Maybe humans disappearing isn't always a good thing.
They'll probably come back when the water does.
Maybe it's just closed off. Maybe I didn't see it. But got 2 more copper coins. Ooh. That. I don't know if you can get through that.
We should keep our distance from the army base unless necessary.
I bet they've got loads of loot in there.
Can't argue with that, but somehow I doubt they'd take kindly to intruders.
If we can't talk you out of it, please at least try to be sneaky about it.
What? Oh. What?
People used to pass through here all the time. Now, the entire area is deserted. The neat roads disappeared under the sand, and only deadly creatures replaced them.
Maybe humans disappearing isn't always a good thing.
They'll probably come back when the water does.
Yeah, we can go.
We should keep our distance from the army base unless necessary.
I bet they've got loads of loot in there.
Can't argue with that, but somehow I doubt they'd take kindly to intruders.
If we can't talk you out of it, please at least try to be sneaky about it.
Hey, you little squirt! Stop right there!
Huh? Who the heck?
My gang runs things around here. The name's Gite. And who the heck are you? Who gave you permission to come all the way out here? You moron. This area's too dangerous for a runt like you. I'm asking if you got permission from your parents.
My parents? What?
That would mean the king of demons.
Well, yeah, my father said it was okay for me to go out and travel. Why not?
Are you stupid or something? I said it's too dangerous for you. You can have an accident in the junk pit, and it's full of thugs. This ain't no place for kids. Go play with dolls or something.
Don't you know who I am? Don't treat me like a kid just because I look like one. You can't judge a comic by its cover.
You moron! How else am I supposed to judge you? People judge me by my looks all the time. I've been shunned my whole... wait a minute. I'm judging him. Doesn't that make me... You moron! Hey, Squirt! I'm sorry! Forget what I said earlier. You can do what you want.
He's not very tactful, but he does seem like a decent man.
think he would make a good brother for Hugh.
And this also would be way more effective.
He's honest, plain speaking, seems trustworthy to me.
Huh? Did you say something? Spino? What nonsense is that?
It's a town. They're looking for new residents. I'm asking you if you'd like to go and...
Me? I'm a mean-looking wannabe junker. I'd scare the pants off of everyone.
I see. So you're not interested then?
Hey, wait! Not so fast! I didn't say I wouldn't go, you moron! Sign me up! I'll come. Don't get the wrong idea, though. I didn't say I'd live there.
Hey, Hugh! I found you a great guy.
What? You mean...
I promised I'd find you a brother and bring him to you, remember?
You really did it? Where is he? What's he like?
His name's Gite. He's the one wearing a mask.
That guy? He looks kind of scary, though. You sure I should talk to him?
Don't worry, he's alright.
Really? Okay, if you say so. I'm gonna try talking to him. Thanks, Beelzebub.
Oh, it's you.
Hey, why the long face? Something got you down?
Do I look sad?
I mean, yeah.
I knew it. I look scary, rough, crooked, and to top it all off, now I even look sad. Whatever. Not like it makes any difference. No one likes a wannabe, and I can't blame them for judging me on how I look.
If you want people to like you, then why don't you quit?
It's not that easy. Wannabe junkers have a code. They don't take kindly to traitors. I just don't feel like I fit in here.
Okay, if that's what you want. But at least meet Hugh before...
Hugh?
The mayor's grandson. He wants to talk to...
Grandson? Like a kid?
You'd have to talk to him to find...
I guess. Look at me. Have you heard the way I talk?
So talk to him nicely, in a way that...
You know, they're actually pretty... Is that why the people in town ain't scared of you at all?
What?
It's sad, but true.
I have an idea. I'm gonna talk to that boy Hugh the way you...
Okay.
Make sure to check your gear every now and then.
You never know when something you've picked up might come in handy.
Got it. I'll give him a look. Here we go. What would you do if you ran into a tough enemy? Huh? Over here.
Huh? Was this the wrong way? It's so hard to tell. It all looks...
Enough of this! Deception ill befits a princess. Cease this stubbornness for your own good.
So you recognize me. Even though it's been 10 years.
Of course. You may look older, but what's inside has not changed a bit. The way you smile, how you talk, your endless naivete.
But you have changed, Rosetta. You used to be so kind.
To change is to be human. I would say you're the odd one for remaining so static. In any case, that's enough pointless chit-chat. We have an Aquanium radar back in Forest Land. There is no point in continuing this charade.
We'll just see about that.
The girl escaped! Seize her!
General Rosetta! There are...
Pull yourselves together! Remember, demons are no match. Have no thi-
Damn!
Victory will be mine, by any means necessary!
One down. Ha! Too easy. You want to go at it again?
Stop right...
Sorry.
I was
Everything you've heard about demons is untrue.
You truly haven't changed. Still the same old bleeding heart you used to be.
And you, Rosetta. I don't even
No, you freaks know where the Aquanium's hidden, do you? Good. Bring it to me.
No! Don't do it! Forget about me! Keep the Aquanium safe!
Afraid I can't do that, Anne. My sis would eat me alive if I let
Yells!
Prince.
What? You trying to say we can't give this up just to save some girl?
I would never. We can't leave Lady Lilith's daughter in the hands of her enemies.
After all that trouble to get our hands on this aquanium, we're just gonna fork it over to them?
Not all of it. All we're giving them is this one capsule.
Huh?
After all, they still don't know that we also got the one from the Merrick battleship. And what they don't know, they won't get.
I see. Serves them right. We have it here.
Then throw it to me!
We did what you...
Now why would I...
What? But we gave you the...
Did I say I'd release her in exchange? As if I would ever
Then what are you gonna do with her?
Like
You... Neil!
Don't move! None of you...
I know. That's exactly right. We know where to find more Aquanium that we can use as a bargaining chip. That's the spirit. We'll rendezvous.